Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. After months of speculation, it now appears that Sergio Perez will be one of the 2 drivers for Cadillac's debut in Formula One. Multiple reports from major outlets in Europe and the United States have confirmed that Perez, alongside Valtteri Bottas, has signed with the American team, with an official announcement expected soon. For Perez, this represents not only a continuation of his long F1 career, but also an opportunity to help shape the entry of a new manufacturer on the grid. Perez brings with him a wealth of experience. The Mexican driver has been in Formula One for over a decade, with 14 seasons of competition under his belt. He has secured multiple race victories, podium finishes, and has been a key figure in the championship battles of recent years as Max Verstappen's teammate at Red Bull. His knowledge of race strategy, tire management, and adaptability has long been regarded as one of his strongest assets, making him an attractive choice for a team entering the sport for the first time. For Cadillac, the signing of Perez is a clear statement of intent. The brand is not simply aiming to join the grid. It wants to be competitive from the start. By securing a driver with Perez's experience and proven ability to score points even in difficult machinery, Cadillac is positioning itself to fight in the midfield immediately rather than spending years at the back of the pack. His presence will also provide valuable guidance in developing the car and establishing the team's culture in its first seasons. The timing of the decision also works in Perez's favor. After months of uncertainty about his future at Red Bull, where his performances were often overshadowed by Verstappen, joining Cadillac gives him a fresh start and a leadership role that he could not enjoy in his previous team. Instead of being cast as a supporting act, Perez now has the chance to be the face of a new project, carrying both responsibility and recognition. Reports suggest that the deal will cover at least 2 seasons, with the possibility of extension into 2028. This aligns with the current trend in Formula One contracts, where teams seek stability during the turbulent transition into the 2026 regulation changes. Perez's experience will be critical during this period, as his feedback and adaptability could prove decisive in helping Cadillac interpret and master the new rules. Another key factor is the commercial appeal Perez brings to the team. As one of the most popular drivers in Latin America, his signing ensures Cadillac will have significant visibility in a crucial market. Sponsorship opportunities, media attention, and fan engagement are all expected to grow with Perez on the roster, strengthening the team's financial and cultural footprint in its debut years. Of course, expectations will be high. At 34 years old, Perez is no longer seen as part of the sport's next generation, but his consistency and racercraft remain valuable. Cadillac will be counting on him to avoid costly mistakes, maximize every opportunity for points, and serve as a mentor to the team as it learns the complexities of Formula One. If he delivers, Perez could play a role similar to Fernando Alonso's at Aston Martin, a veteran leading a young project into competitiveness. For Perez personally, this move may also represent the final major chapter of his Formula One career. If successful, he could secure a long-term place with Cadillac and potentially finish his F1 journey as the leader of a growing team, rather than as a secondary figure in a dominant but unforgiving environment like Red Bull. McLaren heads into Formula One's summer break with a commanding lead in the Constructors' Championship, an impressive 299 points clear of Ferrari. In the drivers' standings, however, the fight is far tighter, and it's an intra-team battle. Oscar Piastri currently leads by just 9 points over teammate Lando Norris. Max Verstappen sits in 3rd place, 88 points adrift, but the reigning champion is still viewed as a threat. No one can afford to underestimate Verstappen's ability to turn a season around. In a recent interview, McLaren CEO Zak Brown acknowledged that the title fight will likely come down to his 2 drivers. He revealed that discussions have already taken place within the team on how to manage the situation should both drivers remain in contention until the very end. Brown pointed to the British Grand Prix earlier this year as an example of the kind of tension they want to avoid. At Silverstone, Piastri finished 2nd behind Norris but was visibly frustrated after missing out on victory due to a controversial in-race penalty. The Australian had hoped McLaren might return the position to him to restore his lead, but the team did not intervene. That moment underscored the fine line between letting drivers race freely and managing internal rivalries. According to Brown, McLaren will stick to its policy of not favoring either driver, even with the championship margin so close. He made it clear there will be no shift towards supporting just one driver for the sake of securing the title. Instead, the outcome will depend on each driver's consistency, execution, and perhaps even unpredictable factors such as weather conditions, safety car interventions, or on-track incidents. This approach is a bold statement in modern Formula One, where teams often lean toward backing a single driver when championships are on the line. Brown's stance suggests that McLaren values fair competition between its drivers and believes both are capable of delivering under pressure. However, it also opens the door to potential flashpoints if a critical race sees the two going wheel-to-wheel for victory. Maintaining harmony within the team will be crucial. The constructors' title may already be within reach, but a collision or costly mistake between Piastri and Norris could shift momentum in the drivers' championship and invite rivals like Verstappen back into play. As Brown noted, the challenge is to allow competition without letting it become destructive. For now, McLaren's plan is to let the fight unfold naturally, trusting that both drivers can manage the pressure and race respectfully. The second half of the season will test not only their pace, but also their ability to handle the psychological strain of a direct title fight against a teammate. So what's your take? Should McLaren continue letting Piastri and Norris battle it out on equal terms? Or should they prioritize one driver to maximize their chances of securing the Drivers' Championship? Sometimes, a strategy built on freedom can pay off, but in the high-stakes world of Formula One, it can just as easily backfire. The biggest news of the day was Cadillac's confirmation of its driver lineup for its debut Formula One season. After weeks of speculation, the American team officially announced that Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez will lead its entry onto the grid next year. The decision brings together two of the sport's most experienced names to guide the project from the start. One of the most interesting aspects behind the negotiations, as reported by the race, is that Cadillac held direct conversations with Red Bull before finalizing Perez's contract. The reason was clear. The team wanted to understand the circumstances surrounding Perez's difficult 2024 campaign, which ended with his departure from Red Bull before the conclusion of his deal. Despite Perez's long history in the sport, Cadillac needed reassurance that his recent struggles did not reflect a permanent decline in performance. Perez faced criticism during his final season at Red Bull, where the gap to teammate Max Verstappen often raised questions about his competitiveness. Cadillac's management admitted that these doubts initially made them cautious. Another factor was Perez's absence from the Formula One grid for an entire year, while Bottas remained active as Mercedes' reserve driver after leaving Sauber. For a new team, taking such risks required careful evaluation. According to Cadillac CEO Dan Torres, the decisive conversations took place during the British Grand Prix weekend. Meetings were held with both Red Bull and Perez himself, allowing the team to directly address their concerns. Torres revealed that Perez exceeded expectations in those discussions, demonstrating motivation, belief in Cadillac's project, and a strong commitment to contributing to the team's growth. Torres emphasized that Perez not only answered every technical and professional question, but also presented himself with confidence and clarity. In the end, the talks eliminated Cadillac's doubts. The Mexican proved to be more than just a veteran seeking one final contract. He was seen as a driver eager to take on the responsibility of leading a brand new team. The team also conducted a similar evaluation of Bottas, reviewing his struggles at Sauber in 2024. The objective was to determine whether the lack of results was down to the driver or the car. After consulting with multiple sources, Cadillac concluded that both Bottas and Perez remained capable of delivering at a high level. Together, their experience would provide the technical feedback and consistency required to build a competitive foundation. For Perez, this represents an important new chapter in his career. After years in the shadow of Verstappen at Red Bull, Cadillac offers him not just a race seat, but a leadership role. The team views his 14 seasons of Formula One experience as vital, while his reputation for tire management and strategic awareness could prove invaluable in close midfield battles. Beyond performance, Cadillac acknowledged the commercial value Perez brings. His presence secures strong connections with the Mexican market, one of the most passionate fan bases in the sport. Sponsors and partners will see his arrival as an opportunity to align with Cadillac's project, but the team stressed that finances were not the main reason for the choice. The decision was based on his ability as a driver. Torres clarified, underlining that sporting credibility was the top priority. By pairing Perez with Bottas, Cadillac has opted for stability and experience over youth. While some fans hoped the team would take a chance on emerging talents such as Felipe Drugovich, the management believes that building with two proven drivers gives them the best chance of scoring points early and accelerating their learning curve. For a brand entering the world's most competitive motorsport, minimizing risks was seen as essential.